if you're into collecting Maxi Priest, well, Apache Indian, having a conversation with him, and he said how his Bhangra Muffin or Ragamuffin roots went back to reggae, and Maxi Priest and UB40 are the few good men of reggae thus far. Guest in studio, it is Venu Gopal Rajagopalan. What's up, Venu? How's it going?
Hi, Rishi, and good morning, Mumbai.
Absolutely. You know, the first time you wrote to me, what struck me about what you're doing is the radical choice of career.
Okay.
It doesn't come easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't.
One has to labor in life.
Correct.
He is involved in the business of sports and video analysis. Video analysis by which sportsmen and sportswomen get to enhance their skills. Am I right?
That's right. That's correct.
A little more about that.
Sure. I'm currently a part of a company called Sportstec, and we are the world leaders in performance analysis and video analysis solutions.
Oh.
And see, sports and technology nowadays goes hand in hand, and it's imperative that any coach or any player, gets to analyze their own game and, work on match intelligence and video intelligence to gather from the competition. And it definitely gives them a winning edge when they actually, step into the field. So it helps in strategic and tactical decision making. And then, of course, you can also analyze your own techniques. There is biomechanics involved, and you can also get into the grassroots level, wherein you can coach a young boy by showing him evidence-based, video-based technique. And that's where it's really important.
I was reading Andre Agassi's autobiography, and he talked about how video analysis helped him figure out which way Boris Becker is going to serve.
Yes.
And he has this very interesting tale saying that when Boris would stick his tongue out to the right, he'd serve to the left of the court, and when Boris would stick his tongue out to the left, he'd serve to the right of the court. And he was only able to figure that one out courtesy video analysis.
That's right. And apparently Agassi seems to, it's apparently he's one of our customers as well.
What are you saying? Yeah. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Fabulous sense of humor. You must go online and check out this exhibition match at Indian Wells, where Agassi and Nadal are playing Sampras and Federer across a generation. These legends, and they've got all of them have mic'd up. Or have that gear where they can talk to the audience and each other. It's just fabulous.
Correct. That's cool.
So stumbled upon the profession by accident, or
no, not at all. It was hardcore labor involved. I was working in the IT industry before, but not as a technical role. It was more into sales and marketing. And I started writing to people in this industry of sports when I figured out about this profession. However, I didn't get too many responses to my emails or to my calls. So that's when I decided that one fine day I'll do something myself. And I picked up an Excel sheet and made some kind of parameters for analysis, and there was a match going on television. I'm a huge cricket buff, by the way, and doesn't surprise people because it's India. So I started analyzing the game and started inputting each ball by ball parameter into my Excel sheet. And then after the game was done, I sort of analyzed this by using the Excel pivot table and all those functions, and then put it in a presentation. And that's when people started recognizing that is something in this guy that we should look at. And that's when I started getting calls for doing some part-time jobs and some kind of analysis work. So that's something which got me to the limelight.
Survivor, the guys who put out Eye of the Tiger and The Thrill of the Fight. This is another track by them called Burning Heart. It's 9:07. After this song, more conversation with Venu Gopal Rajagopalan. Rapture, EO, 9:57. Venu Gopal Rajagopalan. Last leg of conversation with him. What a fascinating session it has been about talking about what I think is the most exciting career option for you if you want to be remotely connected to sports in any which capacity, which is video analysis.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishikay.
Radio 1.
You labored for this to happen in your life. And there was a point when you were almost considered a misfit in your family. And crazy is good. So talk about that, man.
In my entire family, extended family as well, cousins and all, everybody was a brilliant student, and they used to be good in academics and all. But I always used to be an average or above average student. And being a South Indian, the intricacies of IITs and IIM.
Being a South Indian, I also know that perhaps you scored about 80+%, but you think you're not very good.
Exactly.
Which by any other yardstick would be amazing. Correct. So anyway, continue.
So there have been a couple of crazy decisions in my life, but I'm really happy that I took those decisions, because those were the experiences which taught me a lot of stuff about life. One of them was quitting engineering after 1 year. I joined an engineering college, and after 1 year I thought it's not up. I'm not up to it. I don't want to do this. And a lot of money was wasted, a lot of time was wasted. I had a lot of convincing to do with my parents, but fortunately I have very supportive parents, and it's something which I really thank them for. And another crazy decision was quitting my plush corporate job, which was paying me well, and life was comfortable out there in Pune. But then, I had given up on my fat salary and, did a lot of freelancing work and joined a couple of startup companies in the sports domain. And, I didn't mind going down on my salary. And I think the movie Three Idiots was a huge inspiration for me. And, I really want to thank Amir Khan and maybe Raju Hirani for coming up with that concept.
What are you saying?
And I think
Kiran was in for Ship of Theseus. I wish I had known this. I would have told her. There's never too late. I will. Yeah.
So 2010 when I watched that movie, it really changed a lot of perspective in me, and that's when I decided, there should not be any regrets in life. You got to move on, and 10 years later, I should not be regretting that I didn't take this decision. So. That's how all these things.
And as you will figure out, I love bringing off the mic conversation on the mic.
Sure.
Your wife said almost tongue-in-cheek, don't harp too much about giving up engineering college. You're setting a bad precedent for people who are in engineering college.
No, that's not something which I want to endorse. But yeah, it's just a point that I want to make, that you should pursue your dream, because it's
Celine Dion, that's the way it is. At 9:42 in the morning, Venugopal Rajagopalan is in studio. We're talking video analysis for sports and a whole lot more. I'm so happy that he's involved with hockey. If you're into collecting music, there are two albums of Paul Simon. One is Graceland, the next one, which is called Rhythm of the Saints, which have heavy African influences. And you can figure out by the sound of it, diamonds on the soles of her shoes. And if you see the video, which is the live stage performance, lots of fabulous African musicians there. The use of the djembe and things like that. 9:27 in the morning, Sportstec.com is where you can find out more about what Venugopal Rajagopalan does. Venu is into video analysis for sports and otherwise. What's the otherwise? We find out.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishikay.
Radio 1.
In the non-sporting sphere, what are you guys doing?
So we thought that why should video analysis be restricted to sports itself? There is so much technology available everywhere, and why can't trainers use it? Why can't people in the medical domain use it? And so we have come up with an equivalent solution for the non-sports market as well, which is called Studio Code, the product name. And that's something which people are using across the industries of training and medical simulation. For example, in medical simulation, we have these doctors and doctors and students. They are practicing on mannequins, how to operate and how to save a life. So if that can be taped, and if that can be coded and shown in terms of what was being done right and what is wrong, and where could possibly the person improve, so why not? So that's something which has come up. And then, of course, the Indian Army has also been one of our customers. They have used this in simulation exercises, and in their sporting domain as well, of course. So those are some things which we are doing in a non-sports.
And obviously, in this day and age, you've got to go digital.
Yeah.
So what is the online presence on pads, on laptops, and things like that?
Correct. So we do have an equivalent solution on the iPad as well. So for the iPad, the idea was to make the solution more portable, so that you don't need to depend upon cameras, you don't need to depend upon so much of wires. So you could just carry your iPad along, and you can just tag videos and code the video how you want to. And we also have a solution in the iPad where you could do live coding in a game. For example, in a football match, if people have three iPads, if the coaches, the assistant coach and the analyst, one could sit in the defense area, one could be sitting in the midfield, and another guy could be in the attack area, and they could have different codes altogether, and they could tag different things at the same time, and somebody else sitting in the dressing room could see all those codes being done live, and he could gather them together, club them together, and analyze it. So that's something which we are doing as well.
Totally unrelated.
Yeah.
What is your view on DRS? How accurate is it? I mean, come on. There's been such a hue and cry about it. There's for the motion and against the motion. It's almost like an inter-school debate here.
Okay.
What is your opinion?
I think it is good for the game, but however, it has to be implemented and correctly. And I think that somewhere the umpires are a bit confused about how to use it in the appropriate manner. Sometimes I feel it's being overused, because
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah.
Because I don't think so that you need a Hawkeye to tell whether it's an LBW, whether an LBW is out or not. Because in the olden times, all the umpires, the good umpires like Dicky Bird, and maybe Venkat Raghavan, all these guys, they never used DRS, but they made at least 90 to 95% accurate decisions. So if you could just show an image of the batsman, a transparent image of the batsman in line with the stumps, and you could just see where the ball pitched or not, I think it's good enough to give an LBW test.
Speaking of Venkatraghavan, he went to college with my dad. He went to Guindy, and I do know that his opinion is very straight on this. He turns around and says there are certain things that you cannot waste time on the field for. I mean, it's colossal amounts of wastage of time in that aspect. But you're saying if it's used correctly, it's obviously revolutionary.
Yes, it is.
Great conversation here. It's Breathless by The Cause. You have any conversation for Venu? It's a question for Venu, I beg your pardon. It's HRISHIKAY on Twitter, and on Facebook you could go to facebook.com/HRISHIKAY, like the page and post the question. We'll bring it up. I'll also open up the SMS lines. It's one space your question and named 53650. The Cause, Breathless 931. Good morning. Celine Dion, that's the way it is. At 9:42 in the morning, Venugopal Rajagopalan is in studio. We're talking video analysis for sports and a whole lot more. I'm so happy that he's involved with hockey and football in this country. I'm a big one for alternative sports. So you would know that if you keep listening to me. And his lovely wife who's accompanying us in studio says that today is World Elephant Day. How cool is that? I still, from my childhood, when I see an elephant on the road, I say a silent prayer. I mean, the elephants are really lucky, aren't they? The avatar of Lord Ganesha. Sunil Udasi, thank you very much. Thank you, Prachi. Good morning, Radhika. Good morning, Vikas Noel. Pawan Acharya. Hey, brother, you work on the week that wasn't. What a fab show. How do you deal with those madmen, Cyrus Brocha and Kunal Vijayekar? They came into the studio and they hijacked my show. Just joking. Anthony DeCosta, good morning. Good morning, Girish Malia. All you wonderful people listening to me on social networking, my buddies, more conversation.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with Hrishikay.
Radio 1.
Okay, career options for somebody who wants to get into video analysis, interpretation, stats. What are the career options for them? And how early can they start? What is the kind of background that they need?
Yeah. So to be a video analyst, basically, if you want to be sport specific, so you need to have thorough knowledge of the sport, the rules of the sport, and what kind of techniques people use in the sport. For example, if it's cricket, so if you're analyzing a bowler or a batsman, you need to know the strengths and weakness of each bowler or each batsman. And for example, there's a very recent example from the Ashes. If you saw Ryan Harris in this test match, he got Jonathan Trott of the short delivery, and I think Australia would have seen umpteen number of videos of Jonathan Trott, and they would have analyzed that he's moving back and across as a trigger movement. So these are the little things which you need to notice, and knowledge of the sport is key, and of course passion for the sport. You need to spend hours and hours in terms of seeing footage and recording footage. Sportstec is coming up with very good programs for accreditation for analysts, and we will be teaching the software to the analysts at a very nominal fee. And people who can apply could be in their teens, they could be college pass outs, they could be even working somewhere if they want to do it part time. So all they need to do is come to our office. We'll announce the programs when they are getting on board, so they can learn the software, and we'll personally train them.
You're saying come to the office?
Yeah, we'll have it in our office. Yeah. So
where is that, or where can they go online?
Yeah, we have a beautiful office in Malad, and they can check out our website. The office address is there. They can always write to us. And
the website, please.
Yeah, it's www.sportstec.com, sportstec.com. So we keep coming up with these innovative programs wherein we also have placed a lot of analysts who have been contacting us with these football teams and even with the hockey teams. So that's the way it is, and we are helping in building an industry of analysts and helping people make careers out of this.
Mm-hmm. And you said so, using your own example off the mic, and I want to bring that discussion on the mic, is that you were a club level cricketer, and there was a time when you said, if I don't play the sport, can I be involved in the sport?
Absolutely.
And hey presto, here you are.
Absolutely.
So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So this goes back to my times in Pune when I was working in the IT industry. So we were playing in the PDCA, the Pune District Cricket Association, and then a lot of these corporate tournaments also happen in Pune, which is pretty interesting. So that's when I realized that this is something which I need to do. I need to be associated with the game. It's not only on weekends but also on the weekdays if I could be associated with the game in some manner. So that's when I took up this freelancing work with a lot of companies. And in fact, apparently there was a tournament called the Maharashtra Premier League.
Of course. Yes.
So that's where I took a freelance assignment with one of the teams. I didn't get paid for it, that's okay, but I got a lot of experience out of it. Yeah. And working on field is something which is really, really cool. And you're working with the coach and you're analyzing player videos and giving them